Let's jump back into the story right after the flood. Do you remember how it ended with that bright, hopeful rainbow? I always picture Noah and his family just standing there, blinking in the sunlight, wondering what comes next.
It's such a wild reset moment, isn't it? You can almost feel the relief, but also this giant question mark hanging in the air. Like, the world's wiped clean. But now what? What are humans going to do with this fresh start?
Funny you mention that, because Genesis doesn't just skip ahead. Instead, it gives us this epic genealogy, the Table of Nations. At first glance, it feels like a list you'd snooze through, but there's real drama in those names.
Totally. It's like a map of the ancient world hidden in family lines. You see Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth fanning out, their descendants filling up different regions. It's humanity branching out, just as they were told to do.
Exactly, and the sense of possibility is huge. There's diversity, new beginnings, all these tribes forming identities. But as ancient as it feels, it's also a little utopian, like, can they really keep it up?
That's what I find fascinating. The shift is almost immediate. Instead of scattering, people start clustering. They migrate to this big, open plain called Shinar. And suddenly, unity sounds a lot more tempting than adventure.
Yeah, it's almost as if the memory of the flood pushes them to play it safe, to stick together. But what they do next changes everything. They decide, let's build something monumental, something that will make us unforgettable.
And not just any monument, a city, and a tower that's supposed to reach right into the heavens. It's such a bold move, trying to leave a mark that no flood or anything else can erase.
You know, what really gets me is their reasoning. They say outright, let's make a name for ourselves. That's not just pride, it's anxiety. They're afraid of being forgotten, or worse, scattered and lost.
It's so relatable though. Who hasn't worried about being insignificant or left out? Their solution just happens to be, well, building the world's biggest tower. Sometimes I think ambition and fear are tangled tighter than we admit.
You're spot on. What's sneaky here is that their project is dressed up as progress, but it's really rebellion. God specifically said, scatter, fill the earth. Instead, they're huddling up, defying that command.
That irony hits hard. They're chasing safety by sticking together, but in doing so, they're missing out on the adventure of diversity. It's like they're building walls where there should be bridges.
And that move, clinging to sameness, sets the stage for everything that follows. It's not just about a tower, it's about control.
Talking about the tower, have you ever seen pictures of ancient ziggurats? They were these stacked, pyramid-like temples in Mesopotamia, almost like stairways for humans to reach up to the divine.
Absolutely. Building the Tower of Babel was probably their shot at making humanity the center of everything, bridging the gap to heaven on their own terms. It's audacious and a little desperate.
It's like the Eden story, but now with a whole society instead of just two people. Everyone's in on the attempt to erase boundaries and play God.
What's brilliant is the way the story describes God's reaction. Instead of being impressed, it says he comes down to see the tower. There's a touch of humor there. Their epic project needs a divine magnifying glass to be noticed.
Yeah, it's almost playful. All that effort, and God still has to stoop just to check it out. It really highlights how huge the gap is between human ambition and what's actually possible.
It's humbling, right? Sometimes our biggest achievements are just tiny blips from a cosmic perspective.
But God's response isn't fear, it's concern. He sees that if people can pull this off, there's nothing they won't try. That kind of unity, when it's channeled into pride, can go really wrong fast.
It's interesting how unity morphs from a good thing to a potential nightmare. When everyone's thinking the same way, there's no one left to question bad ideas. It's a breeding ground for totalitarianism.
Exactly. History's full of moments when unchecked groupthink led to disaster. The Babel story feels weirdly modern in that sense.
So instead of crushing their project like the flood, God tosses a curveball. He scrambles their language. Suddenly, plans grind to a halt. Can you imagine the chaos? Bricklayers shouting instructions no one understands.
I bet it was both hilarious and maddening. One minute you're working smoothly, the next it's like everyone's playing a game of telephone gone wrong. But that confusion is the real turning point of the story.
And just like that, the tower project collapses, and people finally scatter across the earth. It's fascinating what they feared most is exactly what happens, but not as a curse, more like a redirection.
That's what I love about this story. The scattering isn't just a punishment, it's a protection. It's God nudging humanity toward diversity culturally, linguistically, so no single group holds all the cards.
It really flips our usual idea of what a punishment looks like. Instead of wiping everyone out, God gives them the gift of difference. It's almost generous, making sure no one power can dominate everyone else.
There's a subtle brilliance there. Diversity isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated. It becomes the very thing that keeps human arrogance from spiraling out of control, makes you look at language barriers in a totally new light.
It's like, in the end, our inability to all be the same is what saves us from ourselves. That twist still gives me goosebumps.
You know, this also marks a turning point for the whole Bible. After Babel, the focus narrows. Instead of humanity as a whole, it zooms in on one man, Abram, and his journey.
Exactly, the big sweeping origin stories come to a close, and now we're about to witness something much more personal. God's next move isn't a mass project, it's a promise to a single family that'll ripple out for generations.
It's wild to think that out of all the confusion and division, the next chapter is about covenant, about trust and relationship, not just power or ambition.
That shift is huge. Instead of humans trying to climb up to heaven, now God's going to reach down personally to start a new story. Can't wait to dig into Abraham next time.
Same here. It's a reminder that even when our plans collapse, sometimes that's just the beginning of something better. Makes me think twice about the chaos in my own life, honestly.